Hello, everyone, and welcome to the 2022 Cold Turkey 17 presented by Innova Champion Disc. We're here for the final round front nine action at the Gray Fox course, and I'll be your host, Terry Miller, the Disc Golf Guy, also tournament director of this event, as we're ready to get at it. And we have right now a two-time champion in Christopher Meyer. Won this in 2020 as well as 2021. Going for the elusive three-peat. However, he is in a five-way tie for first place right now. Just have to beat those bushes, and that's exactly what happened. We heard David Heasley, this gentleman, calling it. This is the low traditional, we'll say, standard layup approach. If you're not going for the ace run, it's really tempting to do so. And this is actually Louis Dimock. He's also at the 8 under. That's right side. 182, very unassuming here, of course, on the opening hole. The first three holes continually get longer and longer, each by about 100 feet. And that's Jonathan Borzick, right up the middle, nice and low, just trying to skip it to the pin. These 4+, another gentleman, all shot 1021 rated golf during round one. The 8 under, very impressive, and also the most contested we've ever seen after one round. And Louis capitalizes. Nice straddle putt just inside the circle. David parked. Yeah, and certainly a little good forward roll, putting him right next to the basket. We're going to see a star frame here on hole one. That's kind of what you expect. At least 3 out of 4 typically. It is statistically going to be the easiest hole on the course, so a must get for sure. Now we head over to hole 2. 101 feet longer. The road can come into play on this right side. That's the entrance into the park. Well, that's what should be the entrance into Birdie Town. Back-to-back looks there. And a great follow-up there as well by David Heasley. Obviously, a little bit of a headwind here. Oh, that just turns it up and pushes toward the road. But it does say safe. It'll be short for Jonathan. This is what he's left with. Now you see that wind actually ripping from left to right. Certainly hear it pick up on the mic. Jonathan comes to us from Wheaton, Illinois, rated 992. Just started playing pro this year. And that's short for Louis. Louis also just started playing pro this year. Comes to us from Oakwood Hills, Illinois, about 40 minutes or so from here. Rated 963. Those 1021 opening round, not too bad. I guess it doesn't really matter what you're rated. You're not usually complaining about a 1021 rated round unless you're in the top 2 or 3% of our sport. David had a high rating of 998 just a year ago. He's dipped down to 953. He also does not play nearly as much as he used to. And talk about a park job. Christopher from Johnsburg, Illinois, his 992 rating. We head over to hole number 3, 456 feet, and that is slightly uphill at that, and this is pulled off to the left side and then hits the tree and carries hard left. That's going to be well out of position. You're trying to have a turn pretty much just like that. Maybe a little bit more power, but you're trying to go Annie and then have it flex back at the very end.
Going for it again, baby. Come on. Go. Yeah.
Louis, I believe, the only competitor in the entire field to get the birdie here in round number 1.
Come on. Come on. Yeah. See, same feeling for me, too.
And that's going to be short and left just barely, but still very manageable. So this is entirely blind to Chris from this left side. Trying to beat that single big tree in the middle there and then having it hyzer back into this bowl-like area, which you're seeing here now. Anytime you can see the basket, you might be able to give it a little bit of a bid. You've got the nice backdrop to it, so you can usually be a little bit aggressive. It's kind of in this lower sunken-in area. And this will be left side for Jonathan. Wow, and just off the right side. So after back-to-back birdies, Christopher has this for par. So a good bid, but that's going to be a blemish on the scorecard, and you can see just how competitive this round already is going to be. Louis can move to 10 under with this. Just not enough power to get it there, or the right height maybe. And this definitely is a bonus birdie. We're not going to see any birdies here during round number 2. Takes a big pull. It's 456, slightly uphill. You got to hit the line just right. Definitely a pro par 3, but usually it's only your most upper echelon players that can find that elusive birdie there. Big shout out to my friends at Sandy Point Resort. Now we head over to hole 4. Hole 4, pretty straightforward at just 375, but you have to turn it over off of the tee. And that's why we're actually, John, the cameraman, is off here to the left side of the tee, because if you're standing on the tee, you can't see the basket. You're just seeing a little bit of a wall of trees. And so you're playing a flex shot. You have to put it on some Annie if you're a righty backhand thrower. You put it on Annie, and then it has to flex back. But it is dead straight from the tee area. And that's not turned enough, and going to get a kick to the left side. Likely a pitch up, looking to save par from there. And this is beautiful. Oh, and just past the pin, on line the whole way. Nice shot by Christopher, trying to quickly negate the bogey he picked up on the previous hole. Solid recovery there for Jonathan. And you see, if you push too far, you actually take yourself out of position. So just a little pitch up there for Heasley. And just a few feet closer will be Louis. But first,
Yeah.
Ah, nice. Birdie. Which means he's picked up 3 birdies and a bogey.
Come on.
And we have gracious sponsors. Our presenting sponsor, an Innova Champion Disc, along with a huge lunchtime sponsor, and Dan Harback. I want to thank both of them. And Louis wasn't able to convert on his birdie look, so this is what he has left for par. And the lone birdie goes to Christopher. All knotted up at the top with Heasley. We head over to hole 5, one of the easiest holes on the course. Just 201 feet, slightly downhill. Nice gentle little pitch with the forehand will usually work just fine. It does there. There is an inside route that can be taken sometimes. But if you've got any type of forehand, you see it doesn't take much. As I think that nicked off the pole. This looks like it's coming in hot, and it is. And he's going to bring that one set of trees into play. And that one comes up short, so both Jonathan and Louis will have some work to do. Jonathan just started playing PDGA tournaments in 2019. Getting rated 992. And understandable, so close enough that you definitely want to be running it. Unfortunately, that branch right in the way. Christopher trying to pick up his 4th birdie of the round. It's going to push him to 3 under. And I got to assume Louis is thinking about, man, this is the shortest, one of the shortest, easiest holes on the course. A bogey would be terrible, but he manages to save the par. Oh, no. Now that is going to feel terrible. That's a bogey there for Jonathan. There's a handful of very, very bogeyable holes on this course, and this is not one of them. That's going to sting a little bit. My Disc in a Box has all your disc golf shipping needs and supplies covered. We have 2 mil, 4 mil bags. If you like them a little thicker, protect that disc. And also, of course, shipping a disc in a box, which can be recycled and then reused. We love it. Also, will protect your disc and the integrity of those discs. So reach out to me directly, or you can find it on shop.thediscgolfguy.com. The blind hole 6, I'm going to say pretty close to perfect from what you just saw. You need to turn this over as a righty backhand and then have it just fade back. It's 218, easily plays 250 with the height to it. And it's really about hitting that Anheuser angle off of the tee here. And obviously you have to navigate through this path. You can rack up big numbers if you hit early. Oh, that looks good. You always think that you've thrown it too hard, and you probably haven't. At 218, it seems like it's such an easy shot, or should be an easy distance, but rarely will you find yourself actually going past the basket on this hole. I know that sounds silly, but a little kiss off a tree, though. That might work. Oh, it comes up short. That flops right next to the pin. That should be an easy tap-in par. Heasley from Circle's Edge. Him and Christopher currently all knotted up, both 3 under through the first 5. We'll make that 4. Comment below if you've ever seen David Heasley not in that brown sweatshirt on the disc golf course. I think I've known the gentleman about 10 years. Not quite. And I don't think he's ever worn a different sweatshirt on the disc golf course. And if it puts you on the lead card here at a C tier, after shooting 10-21 golf, I wouldn't change it either. And keeping pace with Heasley is Christopher. So maybe that's a question for you guys to put in the comments. We've got some cold turkey to give away, not the actual turkey, but we got some great discs thanks to Innova, including some Halo discs with the event's custom stamp. What I need to know is there anything you always wear? I guess it's somewhat of a superstition, but is there anything you always make sure that's either in your bag or that you're always wearing or have with you? As we see this great flip up. It was a little tight. Kicks off to the left side, but you'd rather kick left than right here. That's what I need to know in the comments. Like, share, subscribe, do all the YouTube things. But then tell me, is there anything that is almost always with you? Glove, 4-leaf clover, a rock, you name it. Well, 7 plays down the tunnel into the opening and then finishes in a little semicircle or a pocket for the green. Very rarely birdied, but it can be done. And he's right. That is a great shot. He'll have an open look to the pin. I'm going to go ahead and guess that 90% of the time when this is birdied, it's with a forehand drive. It just really requires that shot. This is low. Big skip.
Nice, good shot.
And that will give him a look for a long putt. You could use another 30 or 40 feet, but that at least will give him a look. David's at the short pin. Oh, and tries to go with another overhand, which he had the right idea, but he needed that at least 10 feet left. And then he could have skipped it into the pocket. Easy approach for Christopher. Stand still for Louis. He's going to leave a little meat on the bone. And here is exactly that, a look. Somewhere in the deep in circle 2. And just having the look from that distance is a is a win in itself. Navigating through the tunnel is great. Being clean, being a little left of center is great, but to have an actual putt at it, pretty incredible. So David looks like a bogey in store. And Louis takes his time, lines it up, and cashes in for the par. Jonathan currently sitting at par for the round on another short missed one. You think back to the short one we saw on 5. And that's going to sting. by far the best drive in the group. One of the better drives you'll probably ever see. And then to turn that into a bogey, got to be frustrating as Christopher's in for his par. He's going to remain at 4 under through 7. And David has this short cleanup for bogey and will be 1 off the pace. 3 under through 7. This course, for the most part, is you really pick up your birdies on the front half of the course, and then you kind of just try to hold on to them in the back. There's definitely a few opportunities, but it's much easier to give up strokes on the back half of this course. The front is where you want to do your scoring. And that just needed to flip up and turn over much quicker. Right idea. To attack here on 8, the backhand roller for a righty is pretty much the best play. Again, if you've got a forehand, not nearly as challenging, but when you go with the backhand, finding that exact distance to get it to curve from left to right, much more difficult. I think the fancy term for curve is Anheuser, but what do I know? Right idea by Heasley. Again, just needed to be tighter. And if you're going to make a mistake with the roller, throwing it out into the open, still giving you a look at the basket is perfectly fine. I cannot complain about that. The one big problem is people will bring it in tight and then put themselves in the woods on the right side short, eliminating any chance at birdie. So the mistake, if you're going to make one, is to hang it out too wide left. And big supporters, Ryan Pilcher, Adam Schleiss, Michael Burke, and the Pastry Dies. Thank you guys so much for your support of the event. Stepping it up as we're watching Christopher put it right next to the pin. And here's what I'm saying. You know, David's clearly still not parked, but has a look at the pin. Louis stayed on the edge. If you pull that in 5 more feet, there's no chance at making the putt. So I'd rather be out in the open on the left side. See if Jonathan can get something going here. Last hope for birdie on this card.
Great try.
And we're likely looking at 4 pars. Common number, again, backhand roller can get you there, or the power forehand can get you there. Not quite a bonus birdie, but certainly far from the easiest hole out here on the course. David's going to take his time, even on the short ones. I like it. Temperatures were unseasonably warm in the 50s. You can hear the wind has been coming through, but blessed with really an above average day and then some here for late November.
Pretty slick up here.
Tom McManus will be the first to tell us that in the 17 years of the cold turkey, I think I've had beautiful weather for about 15 or 16 of them. I don't know what it's been, but for the most part, we've been blessed here in late November. We're blessed with Double G jerky in the players packs, too. Get you some hot boom sauce. Huge player pack for the amateurs of this event. Went with a disc, a lightweight disc golf guy hoodie, hot boom sauce, or your flavor of jerky. Innova playing cards.
Lottery.
Towel, free lunch. Try to do it up here. Currently, Louis sits at 2 under for the round. Heasley at 3 under. Christopher at 4 under. David asking for that to sit down. This plays right back to the parking lot. So this is a really great front 9 loop. You go to the other side of the parking lot to pick up hole 10 and play 10 through 18. But we're playing right back to essentially the start of the entire course here on hole number 9. This is trouble for Louis. A lot of scattered alleyways and looks to the basket, but nothing perfectly clean usually. He's going to put that one up, but that's going to be short. That'll leave a little bit of work. The background there, that's our tournament central. Oh, and closing out the front 9, David Heasley with the birdie. 4 under through the front 9. At the moment, all knotted up. David's come in both 2nd and 3rd at this event, and in Cold Turkey 10, 7 years ago, he took this event down. Louis' efforts off the top. That's going to be a bogey here on 9. This is one of the more gettable birdies on the course. See if Jonathan short range connection is on. He's back to par for the front half. And Christopher trying to head into the back 9 with a 1-stroke advantage. And he'll do just that. We'll check in with the rest of the chase and 3rd card in a moment. But that's what we've got here, folks. Thank you for joining. I said it. Like, share, subscribe. Do all the YouTube things. Become a Patreon supporter if you want. I've got some custom stamped Cold Turkey discs that I'm going to need to give away. So to be eligible, make sure you're leaving some comments. Let me know what you think of the C-tier action out here at the Gray Fox Disc Golf Course. Thanks to John for filming. Take a look. Heasley in 2nd. No one making a big move. Otherwise, we'll see you guys for the back 9 and the conclusion of the 2022 Cold Turkey presented by Innova. We'll see you there.